very good evening to you, and thank you for staying tuned to Y254 TV, the #1 youth station in Kenya. My name is Cheryl Blessing, and you are watching the Power Talk Show. This evening, I have something that all of us should listen into so that we can improve ourselves. We want to discuss how can you break bad habits in a relationship. So I want us to go through this conversation and find how we can amend our bad habits and improve our personal relationships. And joining me this evening, there is the lovely Mwaura Faith Ann, who is a journalist. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much.
And next to her, we have Yembe George, who is also a journalist and a podcaster. You're very welcome.
Thank you.
So thank you for staying tuned, and we want to engage with you as well as we go through this conversation. So you can do that by going through our social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We have made a post, and I'd like you to share some of your comments, share some opinions, ask your questions, and we will sample those later on during the conversation. You can also find me at Cheryl Blessing across all social media platforms and engage with me as we proceed with this discussion. Now, I find this to be a very interesting topic because I think all of us have some habits that we may need to work on so that we can work better with people. So first of all, I want us to really highlight what are bad habits, what do you classify as bad habits, and we can take it from there. So first, let me start with Faith Ann.
Yes.
What do you think, or what have you experienced in your relationships that you would term as habits that do not align with you?
Okay, personally, I've been in a relationship for maybe quite a while, and the first thing I would actually say is communication. People tend to miss to actually not be in a position to communicate, and that's actually a bad habit that can actually be worked on. Yes.
Okay, and that's very important because communication is key in every relationship. So George,
Yep.
what do you think are some habits that you'd say do not align with you? What are some habits that you'd say are bad in a relationship?
Some of the habits I can talk about are like, let me say, not listening. Let's say you have a partner, you're from work, you're so tired, you get back home, you have some things to lament about job, somebody annoyed you there at work, and you're like, let me get home and tell my person, this person did this and this. Actually, you don't want this person to tell you what they think, you just want somebody to listen. But you're here talking to this person and they're on their phone, they're not even paying attention. That is a bad habit, and it annoys.
And that happens a lot,
Yeah,
especially
a lot.
these days.
Yeah.
You get people who are just distracted while you're conversing with them.
Yeah, true.
So I've noticed that both of you are focused on the communication aspect.
Oh.
So communication is key.
Very key, very key.
Is it because we're media practitioners?
I think so, but generally too, in every relationship, no matter your occupation and all that, communication is key.
Communication
Yeah.
is key. So what do you think is the root cause of some of these bad habits? Because we obviously do not wake up and have bad communication skills. Faith Ann, what would you say is the root of being a bad communicator?
Okay, the first thing actually what happens is if I'm not communicating, it's because maybe I'm not into that kind of a relationship. I don't feel as though I need to be there. Because if you're in somewhere you want to actually be committed, you tend to like, okay, I want to work on this, and I want my partner to actually understand what I'm going through, and maybe actually I want them to know what I'm going through and what needs to be worked on. So in a brief way, I would say people just tend to like, if people are not just ready to be committed in relationships, that's one key cause of miscommunication. Because if you're not communicating, that sends me a message that you really don't want to be part of what we have right now. Yes.
That's a very interesting take, because you basically say there is lack of interest that will make someone not communicate with you as they should.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so in line with that, I want to also understand if someone is genuinely interested. Let's say they are in fact interested and they are keen to know more, but they just have these bad habits. Like, they're just attached to their phones, George, the way you've mentioned.
Yeah.
If someone just lives on their phone, but they are interested, what would you say has caused that? Because there are some cases where situations like that happen.
Yeah, I can say, let's say you like this person, but this person is boring. You'll be on your phone most of the time. Let me say you like him. Let's say Faith, for example. She's cute. She's beautiful. I want to stay with her, but I'm boring. I don't know what to tell. But she likes me too. That's why she's sticking around. So definitely she will be on her phone most of the time. She don't want to leave. She's just there. Maybe there's something I'm providing that makes her stay. Yeah.
Yes. But maybe you're not giving her the entertainment that she gets
Yeah,
from
the entertainment
her
that
phone.
yeah, true. So
That's an interesting...
she'll definitely go to her phone to get entertained.
Okay, so it's like supplementing what you're not giving by doing something else. And Faith, let me take you as a woman and say that you're in a relationship and you have very good communication skills, and you do communicate how you feel, or your partner is even receptive to how you feel and how you communicate. But they have a habit such as, let me say, he leaves his socks at the door. When he comes into the house, anatoa viatu na socks inabaki hapo. And you tell him, babe, toa socks, peleka kwa the laundry hamper. And he does that over and over again. How would you deal with something like that?
Okay, it happens actually, and it's kind of pisses us off. And I wouldn't state it direct to him. In an extent, I'm going to like bruise his ego and stuff. I would make sure I'm not stating it. I'm not like, okay, listen, you're doing it wrong. I'm going to tell him, okay, I don't like how you do this, and maybe you can work on it, because it's actually kind of shows you're not keen when I'm talking. And when I keep on repeating the same thing, that, you know what, I don't like it when you remove your socks and actually leave them at there. I really want him to understand that I'm not dictating it to him. I want him to understand, to come in and understanding, to know that I really want you to work on this. I'm not going to state. I will just, I'm going to keep on telling him, because, you know, he's just going to be doing it even when I keep complaining. But I'll just tell him, I don't like it how you do it. I'll just communicate. And if he doesn't, then maybe the other ways of doing that, because I can actually start doing something else, of which can actually be like I'm revenging. If I start doing something that pisses him off, and then I'll be like, you see, that's what I'm always telling you, don't do this, but you keep doing it. So I'll just communicate. You see, like, I'll just keep on repeating it to him and make sure that it actually, he works on it. Yes.
And what you've mentioned is almost like reverse psychology.
Yes.
Which is you doing the opposite of what someone would expect, so that it gets them to do what you want.
Yes.
So you will get to a point where you're like, I'll do the same, and we see how you feel about it.
That kind of behavior actually pisses very many people off, because there are other things that actually piss someone off. But the fact that I keep on telling you, I think I should also do something else that's going to piss you and actually make sense to you, that you shouldn't do this. Understand? So I would actually, other than communicating, I'd just do the same thing. Like, sort of make you understand that you shouldn't do this.
Okay.
Yes.
And what if, let's say the scenario of you've communicated and this person does not actually change? Would you be willing to compromise, George, in a situation where the lady has a habit that you necessarily don't like? Maybe that they gossip too much with their friends. Would you be willing to compromise and take that as their character so that you can go longer and further in your relationship?
There's something we call the honeymoon phase in a relationship. This is the phase where you don't mind whatever she's doing. She's gossiping, you're okay. I love this girl. I want to keep her, man. She's doing this, kotu sawa and all that. The moment that honeymoon phase will fade off, trust me, the gossiping thing and all that, you'll leave, trust me. Men leave That's one thing I know about us.
You would?
We get irritated so fast.
So both of you will be willing to leave a good relationship because of one or two bad habits?
Definitely. By the time you keep on repeating something I've warned you about, you don't care, and no man wants not to be cared for. You get. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And do you think you personally have some habits that may not align with someone? Maybe you're in a relationship where this person was very okay with what you're doing, but then you get to another situation where the boundaries that the person has set do not allow you to do the same thing. So Faith, in an instance where maybe you keep in touch with your exes and you've been cool because whoever you're with understands that you're over it and you're just friends, but you meet someone who tells you, I do not like that, and you do not understand it because to you, you know that you're not doing anything. Would you be willing to amend that? And how would you make it comfortable for them in your relationship so that they feel assured that you love them and you're committed to them?
First, I would adhere to it because I really want something to work. I want it to work for me and him. So the first thing that it actually he doesn't like it when I'm chatting with my exes, and he actually has the courage to tell me that, you know what, I don't like this and I think you should stop. I would take it very positively because he kind of makes sense. I don't know why I'm going back to my past and I'm currently in something very much serious. So yes, I would risk and actually take whatever he's saying and actually adhere to it. Yes, I would actually stop talking and communicating, and it will actually make me feel much comfortable and not make him feel insecure because I'm talking to him and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And based on what you said earlier, that definitely shows that you're interested.
Yes.
And you're committed and you're willing to understand and change for whoever you're with.
Yes.
So that brings me to, on that note, I want to know, what are some of the habits that you've personally had, like red flags zenye unajua ni zako, and you've had them for a while, that probably, you mentioned that you've been in a relationship for a while.
Yes.
What are some of the red flags that you knew you had getting into the relationship and you had to actively work on them so that you can maintain your relationship?
Mine was actually when I had so many male best friends. Not actually male best friends, I have too many friends, but
George
I have
is laughing.
I have friends that, a good number of male friends, and that actually knew it's kind of a red flag. But the moment I knew that I'm getting myself in a relationship and this guy is obligated to be like, I'm the only man in your life. So what I did is actually, I did set a number of roles and a boundary to make him know that I'm actually into this and my friends can't jeopardize my relationship because I'm hanging with them and stuff. And I think that was a clear red flag, and I really did work on it because I wanted it to work. And the fact that it's actually not that easy, because letting go your friends is also something difficult to handle with. I feel if I couldn't have let go some friends and even set the boundaries, I would have lost him, which actually feel it would have been a loss to him as well as to me, because
in the long run you wanted to maintain your relationship.
Exactly,
and that's a very good, clear example of one thing that you amended. And George, red flag zako ni gani?
First of all, allow me to talk about, you talked about talking to the exes thing.
Yes.
First of all, my partner shouldn't know that I'm talking to my exes. That means there's a way, she's stalking me. For me, the first boundary is my phone. Why should you check on my phone? What do you want to see? You knowing that I'm talking to my exes means that you've been stalking me. You've been going through my phone, which I don't like. And now my red flags, let me say, I'm too friendly, by the way. I'll smile to everybody. I'll see you, let's say we get an abrupt eye contact. I'll even wave at you. And girls don't like that, I noticed. And maybe you're out there in a restaurant taking some coffee, then you get an eye contact with some girl and you're like, you get Ladies don't like it.
They
Yeah,
get
and
mad.
that's one red flag. One red flag. It has stuck.
With you.
Yeah.
And don't you think the whole exes thing is another red flag? Because why would you need to keep in touch with your exes and hide it from your spouse and get mad when the minute she finds out, you're like, no, why are you stalking me? Don't you think that's also a red flag in its own?
First of all, I didn't say I talk to my exes. I said her knowing that I'm talking to my exes means she's stalking me. But I don't talk to them. So I'm trying to say, when you're in a relationship, just avoid your partner's phone. Personally, I won't look at your phone.
Okay.
You'll cry. Trust me.
It happens.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, a lot.
It happens. And genuinely, I feel like there's some situations where someone is not even stalking you. Maybe they saw a post or something, or you mentioned it in passing, then they discovered. So now that you've brought the point of the phone issue, because I know phones these days are very, very sensitive.
Yeah.
Would you share your password with your partner? Faithan,
Yeah,
would you do that?
That's a very good question, but I don't think so. I'll be honest, because other than him being insecure, I don't, maybe I could be talking to someone else. I feel I need my privacy. Yes,
Which is
and
important.
giving you my password would actually mean that I trust you to an extent. You need to know everything, and I don't think that's how it should be, because I feel and I know the fact that you were dating doesn't mean you have to like know all the details, like maybe my work, and if there's some details that are very crucial to me, that the fact that we're dating, you really don't need to know them. So like having my password isn't a guarantee that I'm not cheating on you, because I could be doing that and maybe you'll never find out. So I would not give out my password. That's,
Okay.
yeah.
Because you care to maintain some level of privacy within
Yes.
your relationship. And let me ask, what would trigger someone to want to take your phone and go through your phone? George, from your experience as a gentleman, what would make you want to go through your girlfriend's phone or just get her password just to have it?
One thing I know about ladies, when they're talking to someone and this person is making them happy on the phone, they will give certain kind of smiles. So when I see that kind of smile, I'll want to see your phone, definitely. Ladies give these kind of smiles that when you're dating this person, it's not good. So it's a red flag. You'll want to know, why is she smiling, who is making her happy? Yet I'm here, I'm trying to talk to her and I'm big a story. Am I not that entertaining or something? And I'll not also not give my password. I can't give my password, and I won't ask for your password too. Reason being, me asking for your password means I don't trust you, by the way. And the moment I feel like I don't trust you, trust me, I'll walk away. I love my heart too much. I don't like it being broken.
Yeah, you will rather preserve your peace.
I'd rather leave as early as possible.
Both of you, I like that you've maintained that you will not share your passwords.
No.
But you're talking about a relationship that's probably a young relationship.
Yeah.
If you have been with someone long term, will you not want them to be aware of some aspects of your life? Not everything, not giving every single detail, but would you not want, let's give an example of, you need to order something and your hands are probably wet, ziko na maji, and you need them to do that on your behalf. Will you not feel like you can trust your partner to share your password, but then not have them go through your devices? Wouldn't you trust your partner to just take your phone and probably just go to the phone and dial, and that's it? Do you feel like Faith, do you feel like your partner would go through your phone the minute they get your password?
It actually depends, because if he's been insecure and maybe has noted that I've been not so much interested in, like, I've drifted in how much attention I'm giving him, I've drifted in so much, I'm not giving him his time, he will definitely want to know what I'm doing that's actually distracting me from what's happening. Like what's happening, what's going on your phone, how are you dealing, who are you talking to, what else is distracting you. Definitely he's going to go and scroll and actually tend to want to know what is she doing.
So you've also shared the example that he said, if you feel like there's suspicious activity, then you will feel the need to go through their phone.
Yes.
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 But one thing I know about ladies, talking from experience, ladies will always want to know what's going on in your phone, even when you are too good to lie. Like every time, the moment you just leave your phone for a minute and go away, and they know your password, maybe they saw you put your password and you didn't notice, ladies will always check on your phone. They always want to know who is my deputy, who is about to enter,
Faithan, do you agree with
who is about to join the group. They always want to know, by the way.
Faithan, can you tell us from the perspective of a lady?
Okay, I'm just saying, as myself, I can't risk, because I know definitely he can't be dealing with me alone. There is my other, and there is maybe 2 or 3, or maybe 1, or maybe even more. So I definitely know I wouldn't give someone 100%, because maybe there's something I'm giving you at 100%, and there's something else I'm giving you at 50%, and you want it at 90 or 80. So definitely you unaitafuta from someone else. You see, you're going to get another partner who's going to give you the same thing that you want from me, and you're not getting it. So yes, that's obvious. I'm going to get something from his phone, and I don't want to break my heart. So no, I wouldn't.
You also just want to preserve your peace.
Yes, I love my peace.
Do you, honey?
Yes.
I'm happy for you. So I wonder, because we've mentioned some few things that are probably habits that are acquired as we get older, but I want to go to habits that we have from our childhood. Let's say you find someone who's very attached to their mother. Tupate a mama's boy. Let me just put that out there. You find a guy who goes to his mom first for everything. So even in your relationship as a woman, you feel like you take second place. What do you think? How do you think someone like that can break away from the relationship, George? So how would you break away from that?
On this point, you're asking me about a mama's girl or a daddy's girl?
Yes. Just from an example of someone who's very, very attached to their mom and they go to them, or yes, their dad, and they go to them, or if you've had the experience of a woman who goes to their parent first.
I've had a scenario of a girl I used to see, and this girl would ask the mom about everything. She would tell the mom everything going on between us, and I didn't like it. Why should you share our issues? Okay, she's your mom, you are a mama's girl or something, but our own issues are our own issues. We should sort them out first. If it has reached the point where I've seen your mom or something, and you're about to take this relationship to another level, then your mom can come in once in a while, but not every day. First of all, we should be trying to sort our things on our own first, which definitely we are in a position to, because why not?
Yes.
We are not kids, we know what we want and stuff.
So based on that, you dislike habits like that?
I don't like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Faith, who unaweza fanya nini if you meet a guy who's just a mama's boy? Like, he has to consult. What food should we buy? What brand of rice should we get for our house? How would you deal with a situation like that? Or how would you help them to break away from that bad habit?
It occurs, by the way, because I've had someone who had similar elements of thought. Yes. And it actually pisses someone off. And you tend to feel, I'm not good enough. Like if you're consulting your mom what to wear, how to decorate your house, am I not someone who you can trust enough to like give an opinion and you're going to take it positively and implement it? You know, I don't know. I wouldn't judge them, but I would always complain about it. And if I keep complaining, it's some sort of nagging him, and it actually ends up maybe, you know, some misunderstanding or maybe some breakup. So it's a very petty issue for me, and as well, because very serious, because the fact that it's your mom, it's now the mama's boy now. Yes. If it's your mom, and you really have, you must get an opinion about whatever we are doing from your mom. It's a good thing, but it doesn't give me the chance to like feel comfortable as your girl or your chick, because each and every decision you have to make, you must consult your mom. It doesn't make sense to me. I'll just talk to you about it and actually make sure that you actually work on it, because it's something that actually would make me even leave that relationship, because you're not giving me the chance and the support that I need to be who I am.
Because it takes away from your role in the relationship,
Yes.
because you're supposed to make decisions together as a
Yes.
unit.
Definitely.
So do you think habits like that are hard to break? Because we have a lot of childhood habits that are probably subconscious in our minds. Maybe you have self-doubt, or in a relationship you might not be as expressive. So do you think habits that are, we got them as children, do you think it's very easy to break away from that? Or is it so hard to get away from the habits that you acquired as a child?
Let me say something. The habits we acquired as children, is not easy to break them, by the way. This is something you've grown with. I have a scenario where I have a friend, he's male. This guy is a mama's boy. We didn't, when we were becoming friends, it's a group of friends, definitely. So when we were getting to know this guy, we used to know he's a mama's boy. So we just decided, let's just understand this guy, because there's some things you can't change. One thing I know about mama's boy or daddy's girl, these people the kind of childish. There's some childishness in them that cannot, they cannot leave it. It's just that it has stuck.
It's very subconscious.
It's inbuilt. It cannot leave. So it's upon you to decide, because I love this person, let me just stay.
So that's where compromise will come into
or rather,
play.
because I cannot cope up, let me leave. So
you either save yourself or you compromise.
but
It's one of the others.
advise most of the time, save yourself.
It's easier. So I want us to sample some of your comments. Thank you. I'm reading them from Facebook, I believe. We have Wilson Snock, who says, always pamoja. This is my favorite channel. Thank you so much, Wilson. We have Albi Mkatoliki Salano, who says, I think lack of misunderstanding habits between couple hinders love. Lack of understanding, I believe that's what you meant. He's writing from Vihiga, Mago Center, tuned in. Thank you so much. We have Maxwell Omondi, who says, too much of love. So is too much of love also a bad habit? So I want us to take a very short break, but stay tuned. Continue to share some of your comments, your opinions. If you have any questions, write to us on our social media platforms and we will sample that as we come back. So stay tuned. This is the Power Talk Show.
Y254. Imagine.
Thank you for sticking with us. You are watching Y254 TV, the #1 youth station in Kenya. My name is Cheryl Blessing and this is the Power Talk Show. Now, before we went on a break, we were sampling some of your comments and having a very interesting discussion about how you can break bad habits in a relationship. So right before we went off, you were telling us that habits that we acquire as children are very hard to break away from.
Very hard.
Because they're deeply rooted within us.
And
so
anytime you go back home, it's like it's being renewed. You'll get it from your mom, your dad. Yeah.
Yes. So do you think it takes a lot of intentionality where you want to commit and you want to decide, this is a habit that's affecting my partner and this is something that I want to change? Faith Ann, do you think you can get to a point where as much as it's hard, you can amend some of the habits that you acquired as a child?
I wouldn't be comfortable if I keep complaining and it seems you're too much consistent on what you're saying, on what you're doing, your actions actually. So it's disturbing me. That's the reason as to why I can't compromise with that. I would actually leave you, and maybe you get someone else who's going to actually take for you for who you are, you see. But me compromising with some habits that I dislike, I'm actually not comfortable with that. Because
so both
I'm
of you
actually
would be like, get somebody else to do it.
yes.
And you
I'd
leave.
rather leave than
What
get
if
my
you're the
heart
one
broken.
who is being left? What if you're the one with the bad habits? What will you do in a scenario like that? If come Faith and you've been dating this person and they genuinely dislike the way maybe you unapenda kukula kwa bowl or something.
Yeah.
Ama sufuria. You know, there are those people who just like eating from the sufuria, drinking from the bottle straight. Kama ni wewe, what would you do in a situation like that?
It's my habit, and you've talked about it, you've complained so many times, and I feel it's not petty because it's actually to a point you want to talk to me and tell me, but they don't like when you eat on your bowl. Like, I think I can actually compromise with him and actually take a chance to stop doing it and see whether it works on me. If it doesn't, then maybe get someone else who can, you know,
Who can tolerate
behave.
that?
Yeah, who can behave the way you want. And some of the behaviors that I see some relationships tend to have are kind of petty. If someone can actually take a chance to like be in a position to, you know, I can work on this, and I can actually stop doing some habits that pisses someone off and are not good for us. So you can work on it, but if it doesn't, then he has to like accept you for who you are. Take it and actually
You
let
accept
it
or
be.
you leave.
Yes.
That's basically
Yes,
what
I'm
you're
saying.
saying.
Yes.
Okay, so now I want us to go into the psychological aspect of matters, because sometimes we might have habits that are psychological or even maybe subconscious.
Yeah.
Tuseme, let's start with something simple as your partner snores. They snore in bed all night, and you probably shake them, you have tried everything, but still it's something that they consistently do. And you're committed, you're in love with this person. George,
Yeah.
utamwacha kwa sababu anangorota.
Hey, first of all, for a lady to be snoring, that's a red flag. but let me say, I love her. Yes, I love her. At night, most of the time, I'll be sleeping too. So I'll be getting her snoring for only a few minutes. Then I also go back to sleep. That's when I can tolerate better.
You will be willing to compromise on
but,
something like
but
that.
I'll try to help her work on it because once you be snoring, every day.
It's the way he said, as a lady, if you're snoring, that's a red flag. Like,
Snoring
should be left for guys.
oh my God.
I disagree with that.
Please,
Yeah,
please
because
do.
it's actually it could be as a result of maybe health issues. You know, some people have some health issues, and I don't think it's a red flag as you say. And also the fact that you're snoring and I'm tired. Maybe I'm tired from work, from school and stuff.
Yeah, but that's true because
And I'll
me
only listen to it. Maybe nitaisikia for just a few minutes and then
You
I'll
go
be
back to sleep.
off, like sitakuwa awake. So I don't think that's much of a big deal to like actually complain about, but
Yes.
snoring is kind of weird, but it's not as much as a big issue as they say.
as much as I said it's a red flag, the way she said it can be an health issue. I know of someone.
Yes.
She's just okay during the day, but during the night, hey, it's a boat. So,
Is there a lion in here or something?
but you just love this person that you can't leave.
Yes.
Snoring somehow I can understand. Yeah.
Because that, most times, it's very subconscious,
Yeah.
and it could be health related,
Yeah.
or you're fatigued, you've had a very long day,
Yeah.
and you're just extremely tired.
Yeah.
Let's get into something that's a bit more in depth. What if you meet someone who has a habit of probably just stalking you? Yes. If they feel entitled to know what you're doing, what's going on in your life, they feel entitled to know information about you, and you're in a relationship with them, how would you deal with something like that? Or if you feel like you have a habit that's similar, not exactly stalking, but something similar that may infringe on your partner's privacy, Faithan, how would you work on breaking that habit?
To an extent, someone is stalking me, it means you don't even trust me, or maybe you're being insecure because you feel there's something maybe I'm doing that's triggering that. But the fact that you're stalking me is actually a red flag to me, because you don't have to know which and every move that I make. And it could be maybe you're insecure, I'm going to leave you, or because something similar happened to your past relationship. I would actually break up with the guy, because why are you stalking me? You know, privacy is actually the first priority. Like, I'm in this with you, so we are in this together, we are one, and we are one because you trust me. And my privacy, you should respect it. But to an extent, you're stalking me. That's not right to me. And I don't know, I can't work on it. I'll just leave.
And what if the way you're saying we are one, to that guy, that means that you're one. Your life is theirs 100%. They want to know everything. So that's why they may have habits like that. So, George, if you're in a situation where you feel like you're overly invested in your partner's life, I want to know, like the way you're saying, Ana smiley kidogo, you're like, who is that?
Who's that?
So like 2-3 times, and all of a sudden you're popping up at her workplace. Would you do that, or how would you work on something that you feel will be toxic in your relationship?
Let me talk a little bit about that stalking. I like being stalked, because that means she loves me. She wants to know who is this girl she saw me on a photo with. She wants to know, what do we do with this person? Actually, I enjoy explaining to my person, the person she saw me with. So I'm okay with stalking, by the way. It's cool.
So people are different. Clearly
it's
there are
nice.
people who like
it's
it.
so nice. It makes me feel like, wow, sure. So
It affirms your relationship.
yeah.
So I want to sample some of your comments as well. You've been sharing them on Facebook, and thank you so much. We have Ezekiel Philemon who says, we've got this habit ya mtu anangorota kuliko hata generator. Violence. And it can truly bother people.
Yeah.
We have Fardi who says, from my perspective, I prefer not touching each other's phones because it clearly shows you're insecure. For me, I'll leave her be with her phone unless she asks for mine. Okay, that's interesting. That's what our guests say. We also have Cinta Waidera who says, interesting conversation right there. I think due to different ways of being brought up, habits we tend to have bad or good habits. Okay, I think it's due to different ways of being brought up, we tend to have bad or good habits. But I think one that stands out for me as a bad habit is when a guy never calls, alafu borrowing me cash. Naivasha tuned in. Thank you so much, Cinta. Thank you for talking to us, and please keep engaging with us. We have more comments. We have Rono Franklin who says, we love watching this, tuna enjoy sana. Thank you so much, Rono. We have Hilary Hila who says, love this, watching you live from Chavakali. Thank you, Hilary. Wesley Gibson who says, watching Nikiwa Kirinyaga. Asanti sana, Wesley. And we have It's Msamburu says, misunderstanding and being selfish. Thank you so much. And that is the second comment on someone mentioning misunderstanding. This is in alignment with what we were talking about with the communication. So if you do not have clear communication, it clearly can cause problems.
Definitely.
I've also seen the comment about pesa. Let's talk about money. Because Faith Ann, if your boyfriend... Yes, the second part of the comment from Cinta Waidera who says, but I think one that stands out for me is when a guy never calls, alafu borrowing me cash. So that is also tied in with the communication. Faithan, if you meet a guy, you're genuinely interested in them, you hang out for 2-3 months, all of a sudden, babe, loan me 20K. How will you receive that?
Our bond would actually determine it. Because if we've been close enough and I'm actually in a position to trust you with my money, and in exchange you're going to refund it, definitely. I would, let's say, it's not that much of a big deal, but the fact that in 2 months, 3 months, that's a no.
So do you think it's a, would you say it's a good habit or is it a bad habit for you to omba msichana pesa?
That's a bad habit. Actually a red flag, because why are you with me if you can't handle your own finance?
Yes.
Because I'm a plus, I need things that actually I'm going to ask from you. So if you can handle me, you can handle yourself, your finances, other than maybe it's an emergency. If you can handle your finances, I don't think I should be a proud. I should be, but I don't think it's a good habit. Be capable of taking care of your bills and anything, but if I will be part of it, I can add, I can plus, but
ultimately it's a bad habit
yeah,
for you.
that's a bad habit, yeah.
George.
Excuse me. Let me ask you. Are you trying to say that you're my girlfriend, we've been dating for 3 months, then I'm in some kind of problem and I need urgent money, and we've been talking to you every day, we've formed this bond, then I shouldn't ask you for money because it will turn you off?
A bond that I can trust, you know. Like, at least it's like for 2-3 months, and then you're like, okay, can you lend me 20K?
Okay.
I'm working, yes, and I am maybe financially stable, but we've not known each other to that extent that I can actually lend you money. Such about it's, you know, it's around some big amount of money.
Yes.
That's 20K.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of huge to some of us.
And
So
let's actually look at it as it's a habit.
Yes.
It's not something that's just happened once.
Yeah.
It's a habit. Every time it's this week, babe, 2K,
Babe, yeah.
nilipia Uber, babe, 300. If it's a habit that's consistent, George, do you think it's a bad habit, or would you be okay with that?
If it's a habit that the guy has formed, for example, that one won't work. Only ask for help when you're really... Do you know there's some people will have their own money, but because eating your money is nice, they'll just be reaching out. And I'm talking about ladies. Ladies believe that eating your money is the sweetest thing on earth.
George, what did ladies do to you?
What to?
On behalf of the ladies, what did we do? Who ate your money? Who did all the... Who stalked you?
There's someone I'm talking about.
Oh my God. Hey. Okay, so venye amesema hivyo Faithan,
Yes.
do you feel like wewe ukiomba chali yako pesa, is it a bad habit or not?
It's not. I'll be honest. I'll be honest. So if I urgently need some money and you're my man, you're there for me, and you told me that if you're in need of anything, maybe financially, emotionally, I'll call you. Definitely, you're the first person, other than my parents, you're the first person I'm going to call and tell, maybe I need some money, I'm in need of something. You're the first person. I don't think for us it's some sort of a bad thing. It's not a bad habit because you're supposed to provide.
George,
And,
unakani kama you want to disagree?
Do you know, ladies, the moment they get into your house, 80% of the time they get broke. The moment they step their foot, they get broke. You have to cater for everything. Nothing makes us happy seeing your girl amekuja amebeba kibag kiasi, and there's some things, something that you've never bought before for the first time imeletwa kwako and all that. It's just so nice seeing that. So you saying that a guy asking for help, I don't support that. But if he does it a number of times, that now I can support. Yeah.
Okay. So, based on this, Faithan anasema, mademo akiomba pesa, it's not a problem. But my boy, ni red flag.
How?
George, unasema, what any red flag?
What any red flag?
But what if someone comes with the perspective of you as a man are the provider? You're supposed to, because maybe from the perspective of your girlfriend, the expenses are too much, the monthly maintenance expenses,
Yeah.
bills and everything else, it might be a bit much.
Yeah.
So what if your girlfriend is leaning on you to provide some additional support on top of what she has? Will you take that well, or will you be like, 1 month I can support you, the next month jipange?
I can support you, but to some extent, you should be pushing harder to be standing on your own sometimes. You're my girlfriend, I've not married you. So I'll be coming in where it's needed, but try on your own to be standing on your own once in a while. At least impress me. Show me that you can do this. At least this month, tell me you've paid your rent. The other month, I won't feel like it's a burden. At least
You
do
will
something.
help
That's what I'm trying to
naturally.
say. Do something.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's from that perspective, it doesn't seem as bad, but Faith Anna can come
Yeah.
up like,
Because the thing with men is the moment you show him that I'm capable of this, hey, they cut you off like you can do it, then do it, because you're showing me that I'm capable of taking myself to the salon, doing my nails, taking myself to for shopping. Like if you're in a position to do that, and maybe I've done it the first 3 months, and now we're kind of becoming serious, and now you feel, see, she used to take herself to the salon and stuff, some other bills. Like she's supposed to be doing that like the rest of the time.
naturally.
Yes.
They start calling you strong woman.
Exactly.
Strong.
Exactly.
My woman is strong.
So to some extent, I don't think you're supposed to leave your lady to do that. If she can cater for something, maybe when you go for dinner, she can actually pay the bill and stuff. Don't be so much, don't neglect her. I've done this the first time, the second, but it doesn't mean that you should stop doing it because I can do it. So
Okay.
yes.
So I want us to go back to the communication aspect, because I noticed that's something that people were saying. So misunderstandings. First of all, why a misunderstanding will come about? What habit could trigger either of the parties to be in conflict, and the reception of when you've had a misunderstanding, however your partner reacts. So in this situation, what would you say, George specifically, wacha tuseme, if you're having a misunderstanding with your girlfriend,
Yeah.
what would you say is a bad habit or a bad way for your girlfriend to react that you would not approve of?
Shouting at me. You should call me, sit me down and tell me, babe, it's this and this. What do you think? But all of a sudden, nimeingia kwa nyumba, usha explode and you're like, blah, 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 this, that, and that. I hate being shouted at by the... tell me, I'll listen, and we'll see what we can do about it.
But you do not like when she starts shouting
Yeah,
and yelling and
that-
throwing a
that's-
fit.
That's off.
That's a bad habit that
very
you feel
bad
like
habit,
is
yeah.
okay.
Because people should just learn to talk. Talking solves a lot better than shouting. Because the moment you shout, I'm human, I might get mad, and my hand might land on you. I didn't say it will land, might. Ladies love
We hope it never gets to
Let me
that
tell you,
point. We are not
ladies
promoting
love-
domestic
ladies
violence.
will be like, Niwe, sure. You're human, you'll get mad.
Okay, if we're being honest, situations like that have happened.
Have happened,
And
yeah.
it also depends on the character of the man.
Yeah.
Because some people have anger issues. Some
Yeah,
people are
true.
dealing with so much.
Yeah.
So based on that, Faith Ann, what do you think are some of the habits that would cause a misunderstanding in a relationship, in your personal relationship? Or just generally, from your observation, what would you say are habits that can lead to you having a misunderstanding?
Inconsistency. Yeah. Because one, let's just take this as an example. Your affection. You've been affectionate to me, like we've been hugging, holding hands in public and stuff. But it reaches a point where you're, I don't know, it just gets to a point where you no longer do that. That's a bad habit for me. You don't, it's like you're not even proud that I am part of you, like I'm your girlfriend, and you don't want to like expose me, like show people that, you know what, I'm somewhere committed with someone and this is the person I love. So inconsistency, like if you're being affectionate, it doesn't have to be public, but let it be consistent. Let it be, keep doing it, don't stop, because the moment you start drifting, unanionyesha you don't like want to be part of me and the affection tends to like lower, I'll get someone else to do that.
That fast.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yes. You're the only person that I've entrusted to that. So the moment you start like failing me, I feel, and I actually need it so much because that's the reason we're together. I feel I need someone else in my life who can actually do.
So does that mean you will cheat or you will leave?
I would leave. I won't cheat.
Yes.
Yes.
Definitely, we needed to clarify that. So also bringing us back to what George mentioned about the nagging and whatnot.
Yes.
From a woman's perspective, how do you think you can avoid nagging your partner, or maybe being, you know, when you're in an argument, we can get too emotional and you're shouting and yelling and doing all these things.
Yeah.
How would you personally avoid that or work on that?
Shouting at someone is actually a bad habit, like a bad habit that I actually disagree with. And I don't know. It feels as though if you're in a position to shout at me, there are other things that you can actually do unintentionally because you're mad because I did something else. I feel you should actually work on that. If you don't have to work on it, then I don't think, because today I'm going to shout at you. Tomorrow I'll throw something on you. The other day I'll do something crazier. You see.
So it's definitely something that needs to be worked on.
Yeah.
Yes. So if you can't work on it, I don't think there's a way you can compromise on that.
Yes.
Just leave. You know, something people don't understand about relationship. You don't hold someone, you don't own someone. The moment you're with someone and dating someone and you feel there are things that are not aligning with what I wanted and what I saw at the first time, I think you have the right to actually excuse yourself and think, maybe, am I really in need of this? Do I need him as much as, you know, I feel? So it's a matter of yourself, you determining, am I going to take that as a bad habit and actually maybe compromise with him and actually get used to it or not, you see. So yeah, you need to work on.
That's something that probably needs to be out there.
Yeah.
People get so attached to relationships that they fail to understand that you can leave and find better or find exactly what you're looking for out there. And something like that, with the shouting, it can lead to violence. And again, the way we said, we're not promoting domestic violence completely. So George, as a man, if you're in a situation where you have anger issues or you're easily triggered and your girlfriend is unajua ni mtu wa kushout, you already know she's nagging, this is what she does, and she might even provoke you. How would you probably get away from that situation? How would you advise someone to control themselves and fight the habit they have of getting angered easily?
Angered ladies, most of the time, if you talk back, the anger increases. If you get what I mean. So what I'd advise someone to just stay quiet or just walk out for like maybe an hour. When you feel the lady has calmed down, come back and now ask her, let's talk about this. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you'd rather take some time off?
Yeah, I'd rather take some time off. Or just go sleep somewhere and come back tomorrow.
He's talking about being silent and actually not talking back. I love that, but you know, like honestly, we ladies, if you don't talk back now, sasa tunapata that urge, and you don't even want this thing.
Care.
Yeah, you don't want
like a parent.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ukijibu ni shida. If you don't, so now you don't talk to me.
But if you don't, they don't also like that, by the.
Yes.
They always like nakuongelesha na ujibu. You get. Yeah. So
So
I'd just walk out. Just
walk away.
Walk away.
Come
back later.
Yes. First of all, shuka chini, ndo urudi and both of you are a bit more sober.
Yeah, definitely.
So I just want to clarify this again because this generation, we get emotional. Let me speak from the perspective of a woman, but I've also encountered men who are very emotional and we are so invested. And once you feel like you've put your time into the relationship, you've put all this money, all this energy, you do not want to walk away.
Yeah.
What would you say, Faithan, kama uko na mtu mwenye amekushikilia, ako like, no, I do not care if we do not agree, I'm not letting go of you. How would you react to that, or how would you deal with that?
Why not letting go? You know, the fact that nimekuonyesha I don't need this thing anymore. I'm not affectionate. I'm not even interested in you anymore. I don't think why you should hold me and say that you can't force. You know, the thing is, you can't own me. Yes, we've dated. You've invested in me for a while. You've done some very important things. You've spent money on me and stuff. But the fact that we can no longer feel the vibe and we can no longer actually benefit each other, I don't think you can actually force me to be there, because I've already made my decision and that's it. I'm moving out. That's
so you're
fine.
still very adamant.
Yes.
Walk away if the situation is no longer serving you.
And but do you know, sometimes it's so hard to walk out of a relationship. Like now, let's say you've been dating for like, let me say 5 years. Then all of a sudden, the girl doesn't like you anymore and all that. Walking away ain't easy, because you're like, oh, so now I'll be going to another talking stage. I'll start now sending money to impress this girl. Like, it's like you're starting something new all of a sudden, which ain't easy for us, by the way.
But I would say that is important. So I want to read some final comments before we wind up. Our time is running out. We have Far East who says, money in a relationship isn't a habit, but how you ask is by a habit. At Ismail, thank you for that. We have Fabio Wanjohi who says, I think if you borrow money from your partner, I think you should return it, which might save the misunderstandings. Andrew Durak says, sometimes people tend to overlook certain traits because they are in love, but I feel that at times we need to think with our heads and not our hearts. That's very important advice. Thank you so much. We have Katel was Zion Train who says, Dakas, I thank you. I don't know what that means, but thank you. We have Caroline who says, you get confused when in love, so it's hard sometimes to realize some habits. And then Henry De Jong says, tuned in from Naivasha, one thing that brought in conflict in couples nowadays is misunderstanding each other and then phone sharing sometimes. Thank you for that comment. We have Waweru wa Keyboard who says, Pamoja. So thank you so much for tuning in. I want us to wind up. Our final quote is, the best apology is changed behavior. So that is where we're going to end our show today. This has been a very lovely discussion. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And you have been watching us on Y254 TV. A repeat of this program will be going on tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. And have a lovely evening. My name is Shirley Blessing.